14 minutes after the hour here on your New Year's Eve, we look live at Capitol Hill. Obamacare subsidies set to expire today as Congress failed to come up with an agreement before the new year. This deadline means millions of Americans could face higher health care costs. But the Trump administration making a major announcement yesterday as they work to make health care more affordable.
This is the single biggest investment in rural health care in our nation's history. It was a visionary move by the president and by Congress to allocate $50 billion, which, to put it in perspective, is 50% more money than these areas of the country get from Medicaid right now. There's 60 million people at least who live in rural America. They're all going to benefit.
Joining me now to discuss is Florida Congressman and House Financial Services Committee member Mike Haridopolos. Congressman, thanks for being here. Look, we got a lot of viewers of this program in rural areas. What will this money do to transform their health care and their lives?
Well, it's so important that we take care of rural health care. It's been deprived for years, and we want to move forward and make sure they have the same quality health care that other parts of the country enjoy. And that's part of our bigger plan, make America more affordable. And we've been pushing for that, as you know, for the entire year. Remember, our goal is to put more money back in people's pockets. Democrats' goal is to send more money to Washington and have more control over your life. By putting these money where it's needed in these rural communities, we're going to improve the quality of health care, and it's part of our plan to empower the individual as opposed to, again, sending that money to the big cities that's being fraudulently used, as we've seen right recently in Minnesota.
I understand your point. And I think when you compare both plans, the Republican and the Democrat plan, the Republican plan does focus on not subsidizing waste, fraud, and abuse. And it does not subsidize the extension of the Biden era, COVID era extension of the Obamacare subsidies. But elections need to be won, and next year is the midterms. And I want to look at something with you. States with the highest percentage of the population receiving Obamacare subsidies and expected to feel the most pain from these cuts. These are states that are crucial to Republicans. Florida, over 4 million enrollees. Your state, of course. Texas, over 3 million enrollees. Georgia, over 1 million enrollees. And North Carolina, over 900,000 enrollees. So, should Republicans bite the bullet and extend those subsidies in order to prevent Democrats from having a big talking point on the campaign trail come the midterms?
Well, I think we should pride ourselves on good policy, not playing politics. In my opinion, good policy makes great politics. We're seeing right now in Minnesota, it's right before our eyes because this amazing independent reporter, that the waste and fraud is real. And it's not just in some of these programs we're seeing in Minnesota. It was recently shown by a GAO report that almost every person that they inspected was a fraudulent enrollee recently. Think about it. Persons who are fraudulently signing up for these systems and we're paying directly. And when people talk about tax credits, these aren't tax credits that go to individuals. These go directly to insurance companies. So we can't just rubber stamp a broken system. And yes, I'm concerned about Obamacare enrollees. There's around 24 million. But there's 165 million people who pay full freight, meaning about $2,000 a month for health care, and are subsidizing a lot of these fraudulent programs. So the bill we passed last week in Washington actually reduces cost. And I didn't say that. The CBO doesn't like Republicans, and they even admitted our plan would reduce costs for Obamacare enrollees by 11%. But the Democrats fought it during July back in the big bill, and they're not going to support the bill that we passed last week in Washington.
I think you're onto something, focusing on those 165 million, especially when it comes to selling this program, selling the Republican program to the people come the midterms is going to be crucial. Meantime, speaking of selling, President Trump's return to office has been filled with multiple accomplishments, including peace deals, securing the southern border, and of course, the one big beautiful bill. So how will Republicans in Congress help further the president's agenda as we approach the midterms?
Well, first and foremost, let's be clear what happened this year. The president did a great thing on health care. Remember, he created what's called MFN, most favored nations. We no longer pay higher prices for prescription drugs like we had in the past. A lot of presidents talked about it. President Trump delivered by signing that deal with the drug companies to reduce costs. Remember, we cut taxes on overtime, tips, Social Security, all things that people earned. These aren't welfare programs. These are putting money dollars back into people's pockets. That's what it's all about. And recall, the Democrats had this opportunity. They had the power. They did not reduce costs. Instead, you saw, because of their big spending welfare programs, big increases in inflation. Food, rent, gasoline prices were all up. Gas prices are down today. The stock market, meaning your 401k, is up 14.5% this year. There's a lot of good news, but we can still do more. But the number one thing we can do to inspire confidence is take on this waste, fraud, and abuse. Because now we know why they fought the DOJ so hard, because we're exposing their waste, fraud, and abuse. That's what President Trump and Republicans are doing right now, and we're going to continue that fight into 2026.
Yeah, I mean, I think the American people would be naive to think this is only a Minnesota problem. Florida Congressman Mike Haridopolos, thank you for joining us here on New Year's Eve. We appreciate it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.